What is going on, everyone? Today we're going to be going ahead and making a movable object inside of the horror FPS kit. So the first thing we're going to want to do is kind of go over here to this elevator. Let's go ahead and look at how it handles it. So as you can see, for our first movable, we have a cube and then a marker for the handle on the cube. This marker has a box collider over it, and then it has a script called Movable Object, and I believe the original has a audio source with prop dragging on it, and a bunch of other settings. So real quick, let's go ahead and just copy this one real quick. And we will actually paste this into the demo scene. Oh, no, cut the... So we will paste this into the original demo scene and kind of play with it a little bit to see what happens. All right. I don't know why it's being like this. I have a 4070. So, let's go ahead and let's get it over here. Here. Okay, there we go. Okay, so let's put you right there. And basically, we're going to model our new movable object off of this. So for all intents and purposes, we will use a model where that we already have in this. So we'll go ahead and go to content or art, models, props, storage. No, we won't use that one. We'll use furniture, barrel crate, and we will put maybe not that one specifically. We use a crate that we will make bigger, kind of like that. So maybe a bit bigger, or something like that. You know, you guys can do it kind of however you want, or whatever object you're doing. So first thing we're going to want to do is we're going to create, I just will do a cube out here, and then remove the mesh filters, because obviously that's not important. Okay, well. And we can just kind of go ahead right here, and we can name this as our movable area. Are you gonna be weird if I do that again? Oh, it's great. So we'll create an empty object here, and then we'll, oh, that's probably what it is. So if you encounter something like that, that is completely just because Unity is awful when it creates like different positionings. So we'll go ahead and just create a new box collider right here, and you'll see like a lot of times this kind of stuff happens, and it's because the scale of this is off, and it breaks a lot of things, which is fine, I suppose, but not really. So we will go ahead and call this 4x4x4. Intriguing. Okay, anyways, we will call this by 2. Okay, that's what, oh, that's what it is. So we'll turn that off, and we'll call this 4x4x4 by 3. And then we will create a cube here to be kind of the pole method. Then we can go ahead and just delete all that. Throw that on there. And this shouldn't. And it still will, but that's okay. And this will end up being a ignore raycast. And then on the, oh, what are you doing here? So then you'll notice it's kind of different over here. right? So you got this whole little setup here. So we're going to just go ahead and completely copy over this to our handle script. And it's going to be a little bit weird. So we're going to want to make sure that we set our offset over here. If it's right there, it's going to still paste onto this object. So we need to get the rigid body from here. So we're going to add a rigid body. And we're going to add a audio source as well. And on the audio source, we're just going to call it prop dragging 1. Oh, once it loads for us. Prop dragging. Oh, of course I did that. Prop dragging. Okay. And then on this cube, and we can go ahead and just kind of. Okay. And so you'll see, like, we'll have. You can do the no friction one if you would like, but I think that's kind of weird. But for this specifically, we will use the no friction. And yes. And then that should be pretty much everything here. We also need to loop this and turn that off. And then probably also mess with this a little bit here. Oh, that should be alright, actually. And, oh, that's another thing. Let's make sure we add the savable object script. And we want to make sure we're saving position and rotation. Just because when we save the game, we want to make sure we know where this object is. So now underneath here, we're going to make sure we have this selected as our, our stuff, and it's going to move our guy over here. So right now it wants us to be having our move direction from all directions, and our hold offset is going to be right here. So when we're pushing it, it's going to push us all the way back here. That's obviously not quite right. So we're going to do that. And then we're also going to just kind of bring this over here and then extend it out just like that. And this is so that anyone can, you could get it from any object, anywhere, any area. So you can just pretty much do this kind of, actually, if you really want to. And you're going to make sure you set that, to interact instead of ignore raycast, because we want to ignore this raycast, but not the other one. So you're also going to want to add this script here, which is just custom interact title. And we're doing that so that we can have, instead of saying interact, it's saying like push. And remember to have this set to a specific setting in the localization. If you don't want it, you just set that like that. And that should be all it takes. But I definitely could be wrong, so let's find out. Okay, so first we have this one, which can doesn't get pushed apparently. We have this, and it does get pushed. And awesome. I'm kind of wondering why this one doesn't get pushed. Alright, well, this one works, and you'll see that you can push it from any side, and it'll just take you back to the original side that you need to go to. And if we say I forgot to change this from the localization settings here. Go ahead and apply that. That's awful. Yeah, I don't know why that one doesn't work. The one we made works though, so that's perfect. And if we wanted to like make it a puzzle, right, where we wanted to have the player push it onto one of these things where it's a weight check, do that too, I believe, anyways. I think that should be close at least. Put it right there. And then how many kilograms does it take to do it? 50? Oh my. Let's do 1. Actually, I don't think we set that to have any weight. Huh. Well, that's alright. Really? Doesn't have anything? Oh, I bet you it's because we don't have it tagged. Or we don't have the layer as object. I bet we could fix that real quick. Give me 2 seconds. Okay, so I duplicated the trigger, brought over here, and you'll see that if we go down here and we add this script here, weight object, we could use rigid body mass, and it'll basically just make it the object have some weight to it, which will make it actually, it'll have it weight in quotation marks. I believe in the previous version it used to automatically calculate weight, but some objects aren't supposed to have weight attached to them, and so it's breaking some things, I believe. So let's go ahead and bring this well, actually I think that is on there. Yep, and you can see that it did get triggered. And then if we move this, because it's set to 100, and if we move that off, it shouldn't be triggered anymore. Yep, so that's kind of how you do movable objects. It should work with pretty much any other type of movable objects, but if you have any other questions, you guys can just leave a comment and I'll try to respond as quick as possible. Thank you so much for watching. See you in the next one.